Classic Restos, proudly brought to you by Shannons, where you can be part of the Shannons Club. Penrite Oil, Hare and Forbes Machinery House, Pace Farm, and Duncan Foster Engineering. G'day and welcome to the amazing 2016 Carlisle All GM Nationals. And like every Carlisle event, it's about the cars, the people, and the excitement. I'm Fletch, and this is Classic Restos. But first, go buy stuff from these people. It's thanks to Shannons. Ask about multi-policy discounts and sign up for the Shannons Club. Call 134646 for a quote and see more at shannons.com.au. For oils, coolants, additives and technical assistance, Oil Right, use Penrite. And Hare and Forbes has the range. Buy online at machineryhouse.com.au. So, on the Fletchy schedule, here's the rundown. On last week's episode, we caught up with Don Glover, a past chief engineer with Hearst, and the inception of the 455 Hearst Olds. And on today's show, I speak exclusively with engineer and designer David North, virtual creator of the amazing front-wheel drive Oldsmobile Toronado, as a part of their 50th anniversary. Stay tuned. Out onto the show field we go. Last week showcased Eric and his stunning 76 Cadillac, Jim and his 65 Corvette Stingray, Glenn and his 58 convertible Chevy Impala, then rounding off with George's jaw-dropping 1968 Yenko Camaro in Building Y. And now it's time to move on through part 2 of the 2016 Carlisle All GM Nationals. Talk about candy on a stick. We've got Shirley now. How are you, Shirley?
I am fine, Fletch, and yourself?
I have to be good. I mean, a lovely lady like yourself turning up with this adorable 1950 Cadillac Convertible. Goodness me, I don't think I've ever seen anything quite as nice as this.
It is nice, isn't it? It's a beautiful car. I enjoy every bit of it. Cruising down the highway, my husband had done me a good job.
Absolutely. I mean, to go to this extreme for the 1950 Cadillac as well. A bit of custom, but done so tastefully well. Beautiful paint, gorgeous interior. But let's start by telling us what you can about this 1950 Cadillac.
We've owned it for 17 years. I personally bought it. When we bought it, it was black and a white interior. And then my husband decided he wanted to freshen the paint one day, and he took it down, and next thing I know, I have this beautiful red car with my gray interior, and I fell in love all over again, with my husband too, but the car too.
Wow, it reignited the spark.
Yes, it did.
Isn't that nice?
Yes, I love it.
Did you have a lot of input to the car, or did the husband did he just take over with it?
Oh, no. I had input too. Because being my car, we had decided that we wanted the gray interior. At first we were going to do a different color, and I said, no, I want that kind of interior to go with that paint. And he was in charge of the engine, the mechanical part of it, so he was very happy with doing his job there, and I was the interior, he was the exterior.
Tell us the paint color, Shirley.
It is a raspberry red, and it has base coats on it, 3 base coats and 4 clear coats on it, which makes it so shiny. Okay,
now the interior. We'll look at that. That's a gorgeous interior there. That's beautiful. Tell us about that.
The interior is gray leather with black trim leather in it, all custom made. The seats on it are from a donor Cadillac that my husband bought, and that's where he gets his extra parts and stuff to put the car back together again. And our poster guy, he just listened to me, and he did what I wanted, and I have a nice custom interior that I truly adore.
That is wonderful. Well, Shirley, lovely catching up with you, and it's so good to see you enjoying this vehicle with your husband.
Well, thank you very much.
I mean, the colour is popping here in the sun. The chrome is amazing. The interior is amazing. I mean, Seriously, how often do you see a 1950 Cadillac like this? And this lady here, well, you know your stuff.
Oh, thank you very much. I enjoy.
Good on you. Thank you, Shirley.
Thank you very much.
It's time for different now on today's show. We've got Rich. How you doing, Rich?
Pretty good, Fletch. And yourself?
Good, good. The first thing I want to figure out is, what is this?
It started out as a big 46 Chevy Pickup.
And then what?
It fell under the grinder and the cutting wheel.
So did you go around your property, because you're out in the boondocks from here, aren't
Yes,
you?
I am definitely in the boondocks.
And you've gone around your property and you've raked up all whatever garbage you can, and you've cleverly enough welded it all together.
Yes, Fletch. I'm a welder by profession, and I have a good time.
See, this is the department of being clever. It's all right to say, let's round up some junk and weld it together, but look what Rich has done here. We see around the transmission tunnel inside the cab how neat that his barbecue hot plate steel is welded together. He's done some really neat work. What inspired you to do this?
Well, Fletch, I like shiny cars, but the rusty ones, you don't got to clean them. You know.
You certainly don't have to clean this one.
No, of course. That's why I like them. They're cheap and fast. That's what you got to have, cheap and fast.
Rich, looking around the car, you've got seam welds up through the roof turret. You've got the doors, the top of the door frame. You've got a weld going on in there. There's probably lots of other welds that I haven't even noticed, and I could be here for a week and I'd still be finding them. On a lighter note, how does the thing run and perform? Does it behave itself? It doesn't overheat or anything like that?
Oh, no. It with the open engine, I get around 15 miles a gallon with a 700 R4 transmission. It's a 355 with 500 horse. It's awesome to drive.
And did you go with power steering and air conditioning, or you didn't worry about that?
Well, I got power steering, but the air conditioning, you roll the windows down and go faster.
This guy's a lot of fun. It's just an idea of what you can find here at Carlisle. It's amazing. You got your trophy-winning cars, you got your original cars that have been restored, cars that have been preserved, and then you've got something that Rich has done, which is truly unique.
Thank you very much, Fletch. I'm glad that you like it.
You're welcome. Thank you, mate.
Yes, sir. You have a good trip home.
Thank you. You're watching part 2 of the amazing 2016 Carlisle All GM Nationals. Back with more right after this.
Every weekend around Australia, motoring enthusiasts get together to share their passion for cars and bikes. It's a passion that brings us together. All sorts of people, all sorts of cars and bikes, from the classics of today to the classics of tomorrow. At Shannons, we understand enthusiasts, so when it comes to insurance, it's got to be Shannons. Shannons, insurance for motoring enthusiasts. Call 13 46 46 for a quote.
Hare & Forbes Machinery House has been family owned and operated for over 85 years, and it's easy to see why. And with a range like this, you cannot go wrong. Planning on welding? Look at these welding tables and clamps, air compressors and different air tools, sandblasting cabinets, through to spray guns. Everyone is welcome at Machinery House, and they're also open Saturday mornings. Their range of machine tools are workshop tested. There are competitive freight rates around Australia, and you can buy online at machineryhouse.com.au. So remember, Hare & Forbes has the range.
In 1926, Australia's Penrite Oil Company was established. Almost 90 years of research, development and refining under the harsh Australian conditions has made Penrite Oil what it is today. Precision, performance, reliability and protection. Championship winning products. Trust Penrite.
Building tea here at any Carlisle event is very special. 2016 is no exception. We have an extraordinary gentleman here. This guy's name is David North, one of the chief designers from the late 50s and 1960s at General Motors. How cool is this? David, welcome to Classic Restos.
Well, thank you, Fletch, and it's always great to be at Carlisle, one of the best car shows in the country. Attracts a lot of very enthusiastic car people.
David, at this stage of your life now, you've got such fantastic history when you were at work. Now, chief designer, you had a lot to do with the Toronado. Do you want to tell us how that all began?
Well, actually, it began with some other cars. I was very young when General Motors hired me, and the first car that I got to play a part in was the Pontiac GTO. And then because of the success of that car, Oldsmobile wanted to do a muscle car also, so they brought my contract to come over to Olds and do the 442. And so while I was at Olds doing that 442, I did a car kind of for myself that ended up with this rendering behind us, the flame red rendering. Oldsmobile was already mechanically working on front wheel drive to get a flat floor for, say, a station wagon. When they saw the rendering and they had the idea of front wheel drive, and the different divisions were like kids in a family. If one kid got a better Christmas present than the other, there was hell to pay.
Bit of animosity.
Yeah, right. So Buick already had the Riviera, special car. Cadillac had the Eldorado. Pontiac had the GTO, which I worked on too. So Oldsmobile used that leverage to say, we want our special car, and it just a good marriage of time. The red rendering was there. They were already developing front-wheel drive, and that was the birth of the Toronado.
Dave, what is it like, though, to know that you were such a special part of the industry in such an iconic time? I mean, how do you feel now when you look at these cars in 2016?
You know, you get a lot more insight when you look back in time rather than from the time it happened coming forward. The GTO, we didn't know we had anything special until after it came out, and the kids went nuts about it. When the Toronado came out, it was the kind of design we liked, where people either loved it or hated it.
Was it more of the gentleman's luxury car?
Well, us guys always put a gender to the cars we did. The Riviera was feminine, the Toronado was definitely masculine.
Did people get excited back in the design rooms? Because what about the shapes that were ugly? I mean, we look at terrible shapes, and I think to myself, who signed off on that?
Well, bottom line is we were responsible. One that comes to my mind was the Boat Tail Riviera. Now, my boss, he had done the 63 Corvette. And if you look at the back of a Corvette and you look at the back of the Boat Tail Riviera, you can see where the ID came from. He really wanted to do that. And against a lot of people saying no, he just forced that car through. Now, originally, that was going to be a much smaller car, and it looked a lot better small. When you got it as big as the production car, it was kind of strange. And Buick was a little upset because people would say, well, I kind of like it myself, but I don't want people to think I'm driving a freak. So we didn't do any Etzels, but there are a few cars that we'd rather forget.
I think it's wonderful that you've been on Classic Restos, catching up with a fellow such as yourself that was an integral part of General Motors. As you said, David, back in its heyday, when these shapes were just so prominent and they mean so much to so many people today.
Well, it's true, and if you come to an event like this, it's really gratifying because the people truly love the cars. The era that I was in, 50s and 60s, and I was there the 70s and 80s too, people absolutely loved their cars. Today, I don't think that's as true. I don't think people get as personally attached. And it's so spread out. There's so many different brands and all. It's a little confusing even for somebody like me. There's so many choices. And right now, the thing that's driving car sales is technology. You know.
Okay.
Okay, good, Fletch. It's good talking to you.
You too. Thanks again, David. Lovely meeting you.
Okay, good enough.
One General Motors vehicle that I have a soft spot for is the Monte Carlo. We've got a nice one here. How you doing, Jay?
I'm doing fine, Fletch. How are you doing?
Good, thank you. Beautiful car. These are almost like a stepped-up version of the Chevelle, right?
Yes, originally it was built to compete with the Grand Prix.
Right. Now, I believe as well, these are around about 6 inches longer in the front than the Chevelle, which made them suitable for NASCAR racing, correct?
Yes, because the motor set back so far.
Yep.
Yes.
They're a very stylish car. I mean, nice shape, aren't they? I mean, you look at these cars, they're just dressed nice. Nice shape around the front of the fenders, nice shape out the back. The paint colour here today, Jay, you've really gone all out. You've also got some ghost flames in the hood. Tell us about that.
When we redid the car had been wrecked, and we were putting it back together again. DuPont had just come out with the hot hues color. The guy that was doing the body work wanted to try it out. So we picked the color, and then I took a spare hood, he painted it, he painted different pigment for the ghost flames, put the ghost flame, we picked out the ones we liked, and then that's what we wound up with.
And
we didn't want something real flashy.
And what is the colour of the red?
The red is DuPont Hot Hues Hot Poppy is the title of it.
I love these names. I mean, in the sun here, that's exactly what it does, and that's the description. They really do pop. Now, the 454 looks absolutely amazing up front there. The big wide rocker covers there. You've got the extractors or the headers. It really looks at home in there.
Yes, it was originally a big block car. It had a 402 in it. We converted it to a 454 when we were doing everything else to the body.
Not a silly question. Does it go okay, Jay?
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
And it's everything but a gas station.
Even with throttle body fuel injection?
Yes.
Now, the interior of this car, as soon as I looked in there, I just thought, wow. I mean, that's just beautiful. The beige, the tan, velour. I like the cloth. I like that sort of fabric, only because it's good in winter and good in hot temperatures as well. That's a nice look.
Yes, it is, Fletch. And it was the original color of the car interior is basically the same. Door panels and the headliner, but we had the seats done custom. They look stock, but they're custom material, and the trunk was done to match the interior.
Now the 15-inch wheels, they're beautiful as well. These General Motors cars, they sit well with these 15-inch wheels, don't they?
They sure do. And these are the 15 by 8s, so they're a little bit wider. And we're running the same size tire all around so that we don't have to carry two spares. Sure. And now I don't carry spares anyway. I've got AAA.
There you go. I mean, that's what driving a car on a Sunday is all about, isn't that right, Jay?
That's right. It's a lot of fun.
You're a great guy. Nice meeting up with you, Jay.
Good meeting you, Fletch.
Yeah, and love the 72, mate. Well done.
Thank you very much. I sure appreciate it.
You're welcome. If you can picture yourself travelling to the United States of America and taking in some of the coolest automotive stuff on the planet, why not join us on a Fletch tour? There is nothing quite like a Fletch tour. Carlisle or Ford Nationals, GM Nationals and Chrysler Nationals await you.
Coming on the Fletch tour was really great.
The people that run the tour are fantastic.
Experience Route 66 from Chicago to Vegas, or choose the Detroit tour, attending the Woodward Dream Cruise.
If you're going to travel anywhere, you've got to do a Fletch tour.
On a Fletch tour, you're looked after every step of the way.
See FletchTours.com or contact All Things Travel, Lara.
Penrite, Australian-made, family-owned and operated. Make premium quality engine and racing oils, warranty-approved coolants, automatic transmission and manual gear oils, a complete range of engine and fuel additives, heavy-duty and industrial products for every application. Visit penriteoil.com for more information. Penrite, Australian-made for Australian conditions since 1926.
If you have a restoration project, Hare and Forbes has the tools that you need. Look at these restoration products: shrinker stretchers, dollies, mallets, bead rollers, profile gauges, professional panel restoration kits, and so much more. Now I warn you, enter at your own risk because you will end up buying something. So come along to your Cap City store or browse and buy online at machineryhouse.com.au because Hare and Forbes has the range.
We've always had a few cars. They're all special. The T-Bird.
Oh, that's mine.
The Combi for when we want to get away. The XR8.
It's going to be a classic.
They're all insured with Shannons,
We've also got Shannons Home and Contents cover,
which helps protect our automotive collectibles, tools and memorabilia in the home and garage. If you're motoring enthusiasts like us, it's got to be
Shannons.
Shannons, insurance for motoring enthusiasts. Call 13 46 46 for a quote.
Moving through the show field, what a glorious car this. A 1960 Impala. We got John. How you doing?
How you doing, Fletch? How's it going?
I'm good. Are you enjoying yourself?
Oh, yeah, very good.
Yeah, you got to be cruising around in this. Now, what I love about what you've done here, okay, we've got an original car, but we have a bit of custom going on. This is an...
Resto-mod.
Yeah, a Resto-mod?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Tell us what you've done, John.
Took the body off the frame, did the motor, the trans, all new interior, 20-inch wheels all around, and air ride suspension.
Man, pretty cool wheels, those billet wheels. Really set it off, don't they?
Right. Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Everybody says, oh, you're going to ruin it, but when I put them on there, they loved it.
It suits the car with what you've done. It's long, low and wide, and I'm sure you'll agree that they really set the car off. Now, two-tone paint. Let's talk about that for a moment there, John. What are those colours?
For a 208 Chrysler, the cool vanilla and the burnt orange on the top. And it's got a custom 60 Merc grill in it.
Wow. How cool is this? What was the condition of the car when you found her?
It's in real good condition. No panel patches, none of that was done.
Did you wrestle with your mind as to which way to go in terms of keeping it 100% stock or to go this way?
I wanted to go Resto-mod.
Right. Okay.
Low rider.
See, Resto-mod is good if you do it the right way,
Right.
and John has here. Now, engine up front, what have you done there, John?
348 engine, 30 over, 10-to-1 pistons, crane cam, and 3 2-barrels.
Mate, the tri-power just sets that off as well too, doesn't it?
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
When you bring the power on, any flat spots? Is it nice, smooth, even power?
I really don't go over 60 miles an hour with it. It's a cruiser, and it's got a power glide transmission.
Right, okay. The good old two-speed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
What sort of diff gears are you running back there?
23 posi. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's good. See, this is what it's all about. These cars out on the highway, down the side streets, through the towns, it doesn't matter where, they're just cool all day long, aren't they? Now, the interior, John, you've done a beautiful...
Did that. It's 60, 70 Nova front buckets, and the back seat is original. It's all leather.
To think when these cars were new, they would have been...
Throw them away for $1,000 and go get another one.
Yeah, well, I was going to say they were like 6 inches higher. They had narrow tyres on them. I mean, what you've done here, it really has transformed the whole shape of this Chev.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. John, I do like how you've left the stainless steel down the side. That famous rocket shape there with Impala, and then the two strips leading off that representing the jet stream. I love that.
Right. Yep, definitely. That's why I left all the original chrome on it.
Yeah. So I guess you're a bubble top lover in general.
Right, definitely. Yep.
Yeah.
I like anything with the bubble tops.
Yeah.
59 and 60. 59 is more like a cat eyes.
Yeah. John with his 1960 Impala Resto-mod, buddy. Thanks for being on today's show.
Thank you, Fletch. Appreciate your time.
When it comes time to original cars, I must say I do have a soft spot. Got Daryl here. How you doing, Daryl?
I'm doing good, Fletch, and yourself?
Good, thank you. A beautiful 1963 Buick Riviera. This is a glorious car. I mean, wow, you're lucky to have this.
Yes, I've owned it for actually a long time. I've had it since college, so when you consider like my age and how long I've had it already, it's been over 20 years.
You had this car while you were in college?
Yes. Yes, it's a family-owned car.
Yeah.
My grandparents bought it brand new back in 1963. The interesting story behind it is that they were actually at the dealership, and they were going to purchase a mint green Buick Electra two-door. And they went to the dealership the next day after they had given their deposit. They came in, they saw the car, and they said, wow, I really want that. And my grandmother convinced my grandfather to spend a few extra $100 and buy the car.
Yeah, I mean, this is an upmarket car on that. I mean, this is a beautiful car, very nicely appointed. You don't see many around. They kept this shape through to the late 60s as well, didn't they?
Well, 63, 64, 65 all look very similar. 63, 64, basically very minor differences. 65, they moved the headlights into the ends over here where the cornering lights are now. And then they did some other custom touches, moving the rear lights into the rear bumper, etc.
It's a 401 cubic inch, Daryl, is that correct?
Yes, 401 cubic inch engine, 445 foot-pounds of torque.
Right. 445 foot-pounds of torque. I mean, that was pretty healthy back in 1963. It's healthy now. When you equate those torque figures, it's interesting what you have to buy these days on the current car market to give you that same torque.
Yes, you're right. It's you're to buy a luxury car like this. I mean, you're well over $40,000, if not more.
Yeah. We look at the interior, absolutely superb. Look at that, original as of day one. I mean, this car has been so well preserved. One car that has distinct dashboard features all day long when you look at it is a Thunderbird. And when I look at these Buicks and I see the shape of the dashboards on these, they're in that same league. There's no other car that quite has that same styling when it comes to the dashboards and consoles of these cars.
Correct. Yeah, when the Riviera came out, it was a direct competitor for the Thunderbird. So they really were kind of going at each other neck and neck with design, innovation, power, handling, everything, you name it.
Isn't it a shame now we don't have styling wars with manufacturers? I mean, that's sort of gone now, hasn't it?
I'm afraid so. I mean, I feel that way. I mean, I'm kind of disappointed in most new car designs, to be honest with you, because being the age I am and I see these cars, I still have such love and attraction for them, even though it was before my time, because they're beautiful. I mean, they just don't make the cars look like this anymore. My grandmother's actually still alive today, and she still sees the car. So she pretty much recognizes it just the way it is. And I mean, aside from the white wall tires, really being a bigger thickness than the original, it really sits the way it came out of the factory.
That's pretty cool, having a set of grandparents getting around back in the day with a V8 Buick like this.
Well, it was their first new car, so I knew it was special to them, and it certainly held a special place for me all these years.
Absolutely. It's a tug at the heartstrings, isn't it?
Absolutely. Hopefully my kids will want it. This way it stays in the family for another 50 years or more.
Thank you very much, Daryl.
Thank you, Fletch. Nice seeing you.
You too. As the show field behind me thins, it doesn't get much better than that. 2 big episodes of the 2016 Carlisle All GM Nationals on Classic Restos. What an honour to represent and showcase the largest GM show in the world at Carlisle events. One of the most popular shows, the GM heritage runs deep in the veins of thousands who walk through the gates as spectators and who enter their vehicles onto the show field. This has been the 2016 Carlisle All GM Nationals, thanks to event manager Tyler Staley and the entire Carlisle team. Thank you for being a part of it. And coming up on Classic Restos is the sensational 2016 Carlisle Chrysler Nationals. So in the meantime, no matter where you're watching Classic Restos from, please ride and drive safe. I'm Fletch, signing off from Carlisle, Pennsylvania, United States of America, and I thank you very much for watching. You can like and follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/Classic Restos TV and watch catch-up episodes at shannons.com.au. Classic Restos, proudly brought to you by Shannons, where you can be part of the Shannons Club. Penrite Oil, Hare and Forbes Machinery House, Pace Farm, and Duncan Foster Engineering.